Yo, what's going on guys, Tanmay here for Simple Snippets and welcome back to the fourth video tutorial under the Dynamic Web Application Development using ASP.NET and Bootstrap tutorial series, the entire course. This is the fourth video tutorial, and in this video tutorial we are going to be designing the entire home page, which is basically a static page. So let's quickly get started. Now before we start off, if you have missed any of the previous 3 video tutorials, I'll link the entire playlist. In the previous video tutorial we designed the entire master page. So if you followed me along, and if you go on the site.master in the designing part, this is something that we've designed so far using the Bootstrap styling. We also have written a little bit of custom CSS, and I've shared the site.master code as well as the CSS code in the previous video tutorial in the description of the previous video tutorial, so you can go check it out. And then we also created a web form which was a content page, which was basically loading inside this content placeholder over here. And the result was something like this. This is the result that we reached at in the previous video tutorial. So we have the header, we have the footer, and this is the webform1.aspx content page. Okay. So in today's video tutorial, as I mentioned, what we're going to do is, if you come to this demo page, so this is the entire web page that we're going to design in this video tutorial. It's a static page. It is a home page. So we have this image, we have some more icons over here. We have some random text, again one image. Again the same 3 styled columns over here, and then the footer. So it's pretty basic, it's not very difficult. We just have to do the designing part and a little bit of CSS, which basically comes from Bootstrap. I'm assuming you guys have already watched the Bootstrap tutorials to get a better understanding. I've been reiterating throughout this tutorial course that you need to have a little bit of understanding of Bootstrap, and I have complete portfolio web development course which covers Bootstrap in detail. I'll link that in the video description. You first watch that. So with that being said, let's start off with the development of this homepage.aspx. So coming to our project, just right click on your project, click on add, go to new item. Here under the web category, under the web forms, just select the web form with master page. Okay, do not select the individual web form, select web form with master page. Name the page as homepage.aspx or home.aspx or whatever name you want to give, because this is going to be the home page. And this is a content page. Okay, so this is a content page which is going to be loading inside the master page. Now we've already talked about what is a master page, why we need it in the previous video tutorial. Basically master page is just a template inside which a content page loads. So most of the websites usually have a theme which is applied throughout all the pages, which means some parts of the website do not change, like the footer, like the header, like the sidebar, and many things remain common. Only the content keeps on changing depending upon what content you click, right? So this master page basically helps us provide a consistent user interface, and that's why we use it. Anyways, moving forward, just click on this add button. Now it will ask content of folder, just select this site1.master. Basically we are saying that this web page that we are creating is a content page and it will be loaded inside this site1.master. If you click OK, your new homepage.aspx is created with the page directive and the master file as site1.master. Okay. Now here again we get 2 content ASP controls. These are not content placeholders, these are content place controls, and we are going to place all our content inside this content 2, which is basically going to be loaded inside the content placeholder with the ID of content placeholder 1. Okay, in the master page. So in the master page, this is that content placeholder with the ID of content placeholder 1, which basically is exactly in between the header as well as the footer. So coming back to the home page, let's start off with the development over here. If you see our demo website, the first thing that we have is a big image over here. So we just have to load this image, that is link this over here. Now I have already shared all the images with you, and we've also added all the images in the imgs folder in our project. I'll drop the link in the video description where you can get all these images if you haven't downloaded them already. Now the image that we want is home-bg.jpg. Okay, so this is the image that we need. So let's start off with creating a little bit of HTML code, because this is a static page. So the first thing that I'm going to create is I'm going to create a section tag. A section tag is basically a HTML tag which defines one big section. It's pretty much sort of like a division. You can also use a division tag over here. They are pretty much the same. In newer versions of HTML5, we have this new section tag. And inside this, I have this image tag. I've given src of images-home-bg, which is basically the link to this image. And I've added one more class which is called as class img-fluid. Now this img-fluid comes from the Bootstrap CSS file. Okay, so this is an inbuilt class in the Bootstrap CSS file which we included in the master page. Now if I save this and if I refresh our page, if you go onto our page, this page will refresh, but we still have to load the homepage.aspx, right? So I'm gonna type homepage over here and hit enter, and there you go. Now you can see the very first image is added over here. So the first thing is done. What is the next thing? Let's see. The next thing is we have to add this new section with 3 columns. Basically you can see 3 columns over here. Now these columns are Bootstrap columns. We've already talked about Bootstrap grid system in a very separate video, which I have asked you to watch 100 times by now. So make sure you watch it to understand that. So let's create this section now. So after the first section, I'm going to create one more section. Let me just copy this and paste it. Inside this, I'm going to create a division. I'm going to give it a class of container. So this container class again comes from Bootstrap library, which basically creates a container. So it might not be visible right now, but you can see some space from the left and right. So that is left out and the container comes in the center. After this, I have to create a row. So when I say row, it means a division with a class of row. So I'm going to say division with a class of row. Hit enter, close the division. So a row is a complete portion of the container. And then we have separate columns. You can see we can visualize columns as this one image and the heading and the text. This is the second column and this is the third column. Okay. So first we are adding this upper row over here, which will have this R features and our 3 primary features text. And then we will add one more row, which will have these 3 columns. Okay. So inside the row, as I mentioned, we have to add a column. Now when it comes to Bootstrap, the row is divided into 12 parts. We can divide a row into 12 columns. Okay. So I'm going to say call hyphen 12, which means that this division will take 12 parts, which means it will take the entire row. And inside this, I'm just going to add a h2 tag. I'm also going to add a paragraph p tag with the text inside being bold under the bold tag. And let's actually center these things. So you can add a center tag to center them up. Let's just save it and let's refresh it. And there you go, you can see our features and our 3 primary features text has been added, just like the demo website. And now we have to create one more row below this where the 3 images, the text, and again some paragraph text is going to be coming up. So let's do that. So this was first row. Let's copy this entire row. Make sure you have proper indentation. I'm just gonna paste it over here. So this is the second row. Inside that we need to create 3 columns, right? So as I mentioned, in Bootstrap, one row can be divided into 12 parts. So if we divide 12 by 3, we have 4 equal parts, right? So we can have a division of call hyphen md hyphen 4. I'll explain md, what is md in a minute. Inside this, inside one column, what do we have? We have one image, we have a little bit of heading text, and then we have a paragraph text. So let's quickly add that. So I'm going to add the image, and the src is images hyphen digital inventory. I'm assuming you guys have this image already. I'm giving a hard-coded width of 150 pixels so that it becomes smaller. I don't want that image to be very large. Hit enter. After the image, what do we have? We have a heading tag. So let's add that. So I added a heading tag over here, h4. And after that, we have some paragraph with some dummy text. So this is dummy text. Obviously, it's not readable. If you can make sense of it, let me know in the comments. So let's copy this. Let's create the p tag. And let's paste some text. Let's save this and let's see how it looks like first. I'm gonna refresh it. Coming to our browser, and there you go. Now everything is added, but everything is to the left. We want everything to the center. So what we can do, we can create, or we can use this center tag. Okay. Control S, refresh. And there you go. Things are pretty much in the center. Now if you see this text in the paragraph, this is not exactly centered. This is having equal space from the left and right hand side, and it looks like a square box. Over here, everything is in center. So we don't want center, we want justify, right? So there is a class in Bootstrap which we can use to justify this. So let me just add it and show it to you. So the class applies to paragraph or any tag which has some text, and the class name is text-justify. So if I save this and if I refresh this, now you can see the text is justified. So this is basically our first column, which is taking 4 spaces. So hence call -md-4. Now this MD stands for medium sized devices. Now we know that Bootstrap provides us with responsive capabilities, responsive functionality, right? So which means that on different sizes of screen, the user interface will adapt itself to look better. So on a mobile phone, these 3 columns will be stacked one below other. But on a laptop screen or on a desktop screen that you are seeing right now, this is one besides each other. But if I shrink this, and if you see, if I go beyond a particular size, there you go, now you can see everything is stacked one below other, and this user interface looks much better on a mobile phone. So this MD defines basically a breakpoint. A breakpoint is basically a length, or you can say width of the device basically, after which this one division will occupy the entire row. Okay, so what this class is saying, that this division will occupy 4 spaces of this entire row till the device size is greater than a medium device size. Okay, so let me reiterate, or let me say it again. This class is defining or is saying that this division, this entire division will take 4 parts of this entire row, which means that it will take 4 parts of 12 parts till the device size is greater than a medium device size. Now a medium device size width is predefined in the Bootstrap library, so we don't have to get into the details. But once the device width goes below medium size, this division will take all the parts. So the division which comes after this, let me just copy paste it again over here and again over here for 3 times, because we need 3 columns. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals to 12, which takes the full row now. So if I save this and if I refresh this, there you go, we got our 3 columns. And let me just shrink it and show it to you. So now you can see when I shrink it, if I just increase it in front of you, after a point they will come side by side. And there you go, now you can see at this device length they are coming side by side, but as soon as I shrink a little less, they go one below each other. So this is that device breakpoint. Okay, I've explained this in very detail in the grid system video tutorial of Bootstrap, so that's why I'm not going in too much detail. If you want, you can check that video. But now let's continue ahead. So the text, I'll just change the text over here and over here, and just copy this search books, paste it over here. We have defaulters list, paste it over here. Now I just have to change the image links also. So we have digital inventory, we have defaulters list, so let's change that. And we also have search online.png. Let's save this and refresh this. Okay, so defaulters list, what is the, okay, I made a typing mistake. Make sure you give proper links. What you can do is you can just drag and drop the images over here and then give the width separately. That way you won't make any typing mistakes in the name. Refresh, and there you go. So we have got the second section done. So second section is done. The third section is again a very big image, which I've already shared with you. So we just have to load that. So basically we are just gonna copy this top section which had the top image, and we'll paste it over here again after this section. So over here, and now we'll just change the image link. The image link has to be in home page banner JPG. So I'll just drag and drop it so that I don't make any mistakes. I'll give it a class of class fluid, which basically makes the width 100%. Okay, so this class fluid is, as I mentioned, a Bootstrap class which basically adds responsive behavior to this image. So let me just show it to you. If I refresh now, there you go, the image is added. Now one best thing is that these 2 images are responsive, which means that they shrink in size. So as I increase this, you can see the size of the image is also increasing. These 2 images are slowly increasing in size, and they adapt to the screen. So if I make them small, they become small also. And the aspect ratio also remains the same. That is, the length and width are in proper ratio. Okay, so only one thing left now, that is the last section over here of the home page. And basically if you see, this top section of our features is pretty much the same as this bottom section. So we can simply copy paste it and just change the text. So let's quickly do that. Many times when it comes to front-end designing, a lot of things are just copy paste work. So let's copy this entire section, paste it over here, and now we'll just copy this text to our process. we have a simple 3-step process. Let's copy this text, paste it over here, and then we have sign up. Copy this, paste it over here. The image link has to be sign up, so let's hit enter, give it a width of 150 and delete this one. The reason I'm dragging and dropping it over here is because then I get the exact link, I don't make any spelling mistakes. So sign up is done. What do we have next? We have search books. Copy this. Okay, the search books thing is the same, so we don't even have to change that. The last thing we have is visit us, that is visit the library. Change this, and I guess the image link is library.png, so let's change that over here itself. And then the paragraph text is some dummy text which you can change according to your needs. By the way, when I'm designing this, you can design the homepage according to your needs. You can play around with the code. You can go through a little bit of Bootstrap front-end designing. This is a static homepage, right? So you can be as creative as you want. Add some more images according to your needs. Create some new images if you want. And yeah, that's about it pretty much. Let's try to refresh this homepage. And I guess our homepage is pretty much ready. And yeah, so this is the R process last section. And there you go, our entire homepage is ready. So this is the homepage.aspx. The homepage is basically a content page, okay? So you can see the page directive over here. It is saying that the master file is site.master. So this top navigation and header and this bottom footer is coming from the site.master. Inside the site.master, we have this content placeholder, which is between the footer and the header. So the ID of this content placeholder is content placeholder 1. So when we create this homepage content page, we get two content controls. So in the content control with ID 2, the content placeholder ID is content placeholder 1. So everything inside this entire content tag, ASP content tag, which is the entire homepage coding that we just did, everything that will be loaded in between this. So which is in between the navigation and the footer. Okay. If you're wondering why we have one more content tag, it is because this content tag will go inside the content placeholder with the ID of head. Remember, in the master page we had two content placeholders. So this content placeholder has an ID of head. So some things on individual web pages or individual content pages may require some JavaScript code, and you know that we include JavaScript and custom CSS styling in the head, right? Now these individual home pages and individual web content pages do not have a head tag over here, right? So they directly start with the page attribute because they are content pages. So where do we put page specific JavaScript or page specific custom styling? In that case, we put everything over here. Okay. So let's say we have a web form and we want to do some JavaScript validation. So all that JavaScript validation we will do over here, because all the content that we put over here will go in the head tag of the master page. It will come over here, and you can see we have all the JavaScript also in the head tag. So this content placeholder is inside the head tag, and hence we have one more content control over here on every content page that we create. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, what we'll do is we'll create some other page, start designing other page, and we will also add all the individual pages. So you can see that we have home page. We just added home page. We need to create about us page. We need to create terms and condition page. Now these two pages are static pages, so I'm going to leave that on to you as a homework, or you can say as a practice, because both of them are going to be very static pages, just like some design work. You can go through some about us pages of different websites and try to replicate that. But the more important pages are view book, user login, sign up, log out. Then we have hello user link. If you click on it, the user profile should open up. On the bottom, we have some admin oriented pages, admin login, author management. And right now, all of these links are not working. But if you go onto our dummy page or the dummy project that I created to show you, if you create on user login, you can see this page is supposed to be designed, or this form is supposed to be designed, right? So all these pages, you can see the link also user login. If I click on sign up, it says user sign up. If I click on admin login, it says admin login. So all these pages, what I'll do, I'll create it. Even you can go ahead and just create these pages. In the next video, we'll also continue with the designing. Okay. So go ahead and create all these pages. Just right click, add new item. Under the web form, select web form with master page. Rename the page. Let's say user login.aspx. Hit enter. Select this site1.master and click OK. And similarly, create all the other pages and just keep it as it is. We will take one page at a time and keep on designing. And once the complete designing of all the pages is done, then we will go to the backend side where we actually write the C# code. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or queries, or if you have any feedback, let me know in the comments. Please let me know how you are finding this tutorial series so that I can add or customize my teaching style according to your needs. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.